Well, when is the police's use of deadly force appropriate? Many are asking this question after police officers shot a man who had disarmed one of them and brandished a gun in their faces. The incident took place at a Mildersdrift hotel where police were called in by hotel staff after a guest started acting violently and inappropriately. An officer shot him in the head after he picked up a gun. He's now in critical condition in hospital, the guest that is. So was this action appropriate or was it disproportionate? Well, to help answer this difficult question, we're joined now by UCT criminologist Dr. Simon Howell. Simon, I don't know if you've watched the video. I presumed you have because it's been all over social media. But the guest of the hotel is clearly irrational. He appears to be putting the lives of the police in danger, not only with his own gun, but trying to snatch one of their guns. The police officer shoots him almost in a panicked kind of way in the head. Was that use of disproportionate force?
Well, under South African law, the police may use proportional force to effect an arrest or to protect themselves. In this instance, because the person was brandishing a gun and was ultimately, placing him under threat, I would say that, they could have used force. However, shooting the person in the head was somewhat disproportionate to the threat level. They may have better disabled him some other way.
So perhaps instead of shooting him in the head, they could have tried to disarm him by shooting him in the lower body where he wouldn't be in such a critical condition as he is now.
Yeah, look, at an operational level, it is very difficult for police to make this type of judgment calls as it would be for anyone else. But ultimately, I think the shooting the person in the head was disproportionate. They could have shot him in the arm, or they could have disabled him another way. Of course, in South Africa, there is an issue around the use of guns by the police, and that they do not have any other tools to arrest people or to curtail their activities.
Simon, could the police officer have perhaps been armed with mace or some kind of other stun grade something like that, rather than a loaded gun?
Yeah, look, in South Africa, one of the key issues is that, in the rest of the world, police have options or have access to other types of protection or other types of armament. So, for instance, the taser guns or mace spray. In South Africa, police are primarily equipped with a gun. And a gun is a deadly use of force, essentially. So they don't really there's no middle ground here between, the use of deadly force and the use of no force. So had they had options, or had they had at their disposal, they could have used the taser, for instance, or tried to mace him.
Simon, the guest at the hotel, or the victim in this issue, was very aggressive, and the police, however they tried to negotiate with him, there was a sense of panic, in my view, when I watched the video carefully, in the policeman who shot the guest in the head. Do you think the police need better preparation for those kind of high conflict situations?
Yes, I do think they do need better preparation and better training. It is ultimately, it needs to be recognized that dealing with these type of situations is very difficult at a human level. And, not responding or trying to not respond in a manner that protects yourself is very difficult. So, but that being said, ultimately further training and further, experience around this may have been helpful in this precise instance. But again, that's up to individual officers and ultimately to their own experience.
Very quickly, what happens to the officer now? Could he face a charge of murder?
So IPID will be investigating the incident, and depending on their findings, then the officer could either face criminal sanctions or internal sanctions. And it depends on what IPID ultimately finds.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Simon Howell. He's a criminologist at the University of Cape Town. Let's go to a short break.